my problem is, well, they presented what I think is probably just the most, at least for me, the most satisfying answer they could have given that he was going to be in Himawari. But then they proposed other things too, and then Kurama just like, it doesn't really matter why. And it's just like, well, you had a fine reason, in my opinion, but like, just go with it. And like,
When you say the most satisfying reason, it can be the most satisfying to you. Is that reason satisfying to you?
I just wouldn't have had Kurama himself be in Himawari, period. So, like, to some extent, no, because I just wouldn't have done this, period. But then have Kurama come back. To some extent, yeah, I know, passing on the next generation, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I would have had the Kurama soul be in Himawari. Or if he was gonna do it, it would be like Naruto's dying and he says, Kurama, take care of my children. And then Kurama's like, I got you. And then he's like, Himawari, I'm gonna be your tailbeast. Like that sounds goofy, but like I wouldn't have had it forced upon Kurama at all anyway. I don't think.
Yeah.
I would have preferred Kurama to just choose to do it.
The thing that makes me the most angry with this entire thing from the community is them just acting like they've just known all along, or that it just was the case the entire time. And that is obvious. She had her whisker marks. I knew from the second I saw her in chapter 700 or the Boruto movie or whatever. Shut up. No, you didn't. People have jokingly brought up the possibility in the past, but not like actually think it. Like no one actually thought Himawari just had Kurama.
Not the soul.
People weren't proposing the theory expecting it to be the case. No one is celebrating being like, I told you all along, I was right this whole time. Because nobody thought it. If anything, people had this theory about Boruto more so than Himawari.
I mean, for me at
Especially considering that
least,
cover
and we
art.
have the podcast to prove it before Kurama was actually even revealed, I was just focused on Kurama's chakra, not Kurama's soul. So Himawari having a small portion or an effect from Kurama's chakra means that the pocket's proof. I bet saying that because the whisker marks were evidence, but no, I mean, you could say this is my preconceived bias. I didn't want Kurama's soul to just be in Himawari, so that wasn't my thing. But
Well, I mean, from
um,
before we had any inkling of Kurama being
no, even
inside
then
Himawari.
we discussed it because I remember when the chapter first came out. I told you you're not gonna like this chapter because Kurama returned, and we had just been talking about the Himawari chakra thing before that even happened. Because Himawari had Kurama's chakra, probably how that got sparked. Because Juro was
Yeah.
sensing it, and we were discussing, well, why does she have it? We weren't talking about Kurama's soul being there, but Kurama's
The
chakra in general, yeah.
So the daemon sensing the intensity thing is what sparked people bringing up the possibility. But it's like that was the order rather than the other way around. It's not like, well, of course she has soul intensity because she has Kurama. No one was thinking that. It's like, okay, well, what are all the possibilities? Well, let's just randomly throw Kurama in there because why not? But no one actually thought it was
Nobody was
Kurama.
saying that Himawari had Kurama's soul.
I don't think anyone believed Kurama at all was because of the intensity. Or the intensity was because of Kurama, if you want to say it that way.
Oh, no, even then, I still think that is the case.
No, I agree. But, like, I'm saying when that happened and when people were first bringing that up and bringing Kurama into the conversation, no one was bringing it up as the most likely possibility or what they personally believed. Just bring it up as a possibility, as unlikely as it was. Just as everything else everyone brought up. Why people brought up multiple possibilities. They were bringing up everything they could think of.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't think Kurama makes sense for the intensity thing anyway.
Because, like, even, like, regardless of the intensity thing, before that, we've had Himawari be around for years. Maybe I'm forgetting, but, like, before the Daemon and Sensei line, we had no reason to think there was anything special with Himawari. And I don't remember us talking about it. I don't remember Trippy talking about it. I don't remember any guest ever bringing up Himawari because she's not relevant or important. Or, like,
Yeah, exactly, because
yeah.
nobody cared. Because
Exactly.
to me, at least, Himawari for a long time was a gag character in terms of her strength. Like her
Yeah.
strength was almost like a gag. It was funny how this girl just was casually like the strongest kid ever, but she wasn't actually relevant. She just was strong, just because.
And maybe people like when Chapter 700 came out, or the last movie, or whatever you want to say, maybe people when they first saw the whisker marks were questioning it, but like pretty much immediately after, people just dropped it because it just clearly wasn't the case.
It's
Like
because
the
people
moment
just
we
didn't
received like
care.
any information. No, I think people would have immediately cared. Those are freaking Naruto's children. We've been following Naruto for 15 years at this
Yeah,
point.
but Naruto had whisker marks too, so and at the time you could just say, "Oh, they just got it from Naruto, nothing more." Like,
Yeah, that too. That they just got whisker marks, but they didn't inherit anything from Kurama at all.
yeah, they didn't inherently have to think it meant something. Like, I don't even remember when I first like. To some extent, I feel like I may have been thinking about this a little while before the Jorah thing, because I feel like I was already writing it into a video topic at some point, but I don't really remember. So I don't know if that's just like not true. But at the very least, by the time Jorah sensed it in Himawari, yeah, that's when I hung my hat on the whisker marks for me at least.
Plus,
But
with how final Naruto felt in its resolution, and then even Naruto Gaiden felt like he was trying to end it with that last story, and then Naruto the Last is called The Last, and then Boruto the movie was written because of the kids with Kishimoto, and then Kishimoto just stopped writing and he didn't want to be involved. It felt like Kishimoto tried like 5 different times to just end it. So looking at that original ending he had with Chapter 700, it felt like he was trying to not revisit this. And so those character
yeah,
designs, it felt like he was just doing that almost as a nod to Naruto. So we know it's Naruto's kid. Like that's why he had in Chapter 700 specifically
yeah, and that's probably
Boruto
why he
drawing on the
said like,
stone
"Oh, I just
monuments, or we'd
forgot to draw
see
the Byakugan,"
exactly, yeah.
because the point, because yeah, you say, how could you ever forget to draw something so integral? Because at the time he didn't want to do much with it. He wasn't planning on it being what it became, potentially anyway.
Yeah. Like from the community's perspective, we didn't realize it was ending until chapter 695. That's when they announced, oh, by the way, Naruto's ending in 5 chapters. I think 695 is when the Naruto and Sasuke fight begins.
Yeah,
So like,
they start talking before then, but
well, there was like rumors maybe, but like it was officially announced in